Welcome to a farming simulator guide to mod review assistance video with me, MrSealyp. It's Friday the 11th of January and we have some more new mods and we have one ported over. So what am I going to start with today? Actually I'm going to start with the one in the background today. This is an interesting one. After yesterday's deck chair for sleeping, we now have the farm Trailerhouse by, I think it's MrMazzony, MrMazzony I think. It's an interesting one. It's a kind of trailer, converted trailer I guess. It's an interesting one. There's a lot of debris kind of around it. We've got an old tin bath and sort of a step ladder and kind of rickety front porch to it, a little bit of a raised deck, plastic table and deck chairs, barbecue, very nice. What's interesting about this, it's great detail. I really do like the detail on it. Around the back we've got an old mattress, as you do, you know, ripped old mattress around the back of it, and this is in place of, or as well as like your farmhouse, this is your available for sleeping. So I'm going to come up onto here. If I press L3 when we get to here, I'm not tired at the moment, but when it gets to any time after 8 PM I believe it is, if I come and press L3 it will give me the option to then sleep through the night. Now we'll have a look at this in store. It's very cool, it's very nice, it's smaller than the farmhouse, and when we do have a look at this you'll be impressed by the price as well, which I think is really good. So the Lizard farmhouse, obviously when that first came into the game, was very expensive. That's now 180,000. This is only 36,000 for the farm trailer house. You place it in exactly the same way. What I've been doing on my test map, I've been levelling the ground first and then placing. That way you're paying what it says, 36,000. Now, at the moment that says -4 slots because I've already got one. I've already placed it. I know a lot of people have been asking about the slot system and how it works. The first mod of anything that you place has a slot count. When you've placed one of them or bought one of them, that slot count will drop. Normally to around, with tractors, you know, you might have a 15 slot count. You buy the first one for 15, then when you buy the second one that might drop down to 2 slots for every subsequent one you buy. The scary thing about this, and I'm really surprised I have to say, the farmhouse, and I don't have one placed, is 1 slot. The deck chair mod that came out yesterday is 1 slot. This, and I did wonder if it was a typo, and when I placed it I didn't actually check in the top corner. It says it's 74 slots. 74! That's a huge amount of slots. So yeah, maybe if you have a look, if you test it on your map, have a look at the slot count. I didn't check, I placed it and I wrote it down. Didn't even dawn on me to actually look, but yeah, 74 slots is quite a lot. It's a nice tidy mod. There's a lot of great detail on it. It's fantastic, and you know, if you want a building so you can skip through the night, 36,000 is not too bad at all, but that's pretty high on the slot count, I have to say. So that's the first of our mods. So moving on, I think we'll go to this one here. We have got the Krone ZX 430 GD. In game already we've got the Krone ZX 560 GD, which is, or 530. We'll have a look at it in a moment anyway. But this is by Julie 7250 and Pejay. It's 25 slots for one of these. If we have a look in store, let's go to loading wagons, which are further along here. It is a loading wagon. So we have, well, yeah, the 560. So we've got the ZX 560 GD, which is 56,000 litre capacity. If we go along to this one, it's 43,000 litre capacity. So that's why it's the ZX 430 GD. It's 119,000 pounds, euros or dollars to buy. And if we click on it, we have a couple of options available. We have got, actually swing around a little bit so we can see a little bit better. We can have Trelleborgs or Michelins. And if we go a little bit further around, we can have with standard or wide in either of those as well, which is very nice. If we come up to the top, we can also have the cover, yes or no. The cover's actually quite cool, I like that. And it's the one, the same as it was on FS17, I think, with the ZX 560 as well. The Krone is upside down when it's closed, but when you open it, it folds down the side and it's kind of like a little advertising hoarding. We'll have a look at that in a moment as well. So that's it in the store. There are no other options available. That can take it up to, is it 131,000? Yeah, because it's 5,000 for the cover, 7,250 for the wide tyres. So it depends what you want to have as your options on it. Now, oh, actually, that's what I was going to do. Price-wise, what did I say it as? A slot count of 25, didn't I? Yeah, slot count of 25. So when you put that into comparison with some of the other ones, it's fairly high, I guess. I mean, the ZX 560 GD is 25 slots as well. Price-wise, it puts it between the Rapide 580 and the Tego XR. So it's 119,000, so it comes between those two. However, it's got 1,000 litre more capacity than the Tego XR, which puts it kind of between those two for capacity, but price-wise between those two. So, you know, in all honesty, it's not a bad option, although the Tego XR75D is only 6 slots. So if slots is something you're worried about and you're looking at them carefully and you're getting close to your limit, that may be a factor that comes into it. For me, a lot of the time it comes down to price and capacity, and I compare all those. And then sometimes as I move through my Let's Plays, it comes down to using a different bit of machinery than ones I've used before. So it's a nice addition into the game. Right, so let's have a quick look at what it does. Grab it, the John Deere. So, if we open the cover, like so, brings the cover down the side, and the Krone is then the right way up. We have got our pickup, up and down, and then if we turn it on, everything starts up. That's very nice indeed. Now what we have also got with this, which I quite like, is the L1 and then right stick. We can adjust it. No, it might be R1 instead. There we go. Zoom out a little bit. We can raise it up and down. So depending on what tractor or vehicle we've got it with, we can kind of level it out a little bit better, which is a nice feature. One thing it doesn't have is at the top here, these little flaps that are just here, and a lot of the loading wagons and trailers and stuff, that raises and lowers. We haven't got that option on this particular one. But so it's nice to have something extra. I know we've got a few loading wagons already, but it's nice to have another one in game. So turn that off and jump out. So moving on to our next mod, let's have a look at these. We have got 2 plows. These are Agromash plows. The Agromash POH I think it's 3/4, or it might be 3/4, I'm not too sure. This is by Hurps. We have got a 2 metre plough, and we've got, sorry, a 2 metre plough and a 1.5 metre plough. They're very, very nice. Great details on them. A lot of the mods, I mean, like I say, I've said it before, a lot of the mods coming out incredibly detailed. Lots going on, very tidy, no blur when you get close to them and all that kind of thing. And you have got a couple of options with these. You can have regular standard mould boards, or you can have slatted or slotted mould boards. I think that's supposed to be to kind of aerate the ground so you don't get clumps as much. These will turn the soil and you get like the bigger lumps, but I think with the slatted ones it kind of aerates the ground a little bit more, breaks up those clods and clumps as it does it. So in store, where are we? Ploughs. Now, for me personally, I think it would have been nice to see, I mean, somewhere in between these two here. We've already got the Agromash POH 5, so it comes sort of lower down, but obviously in the mod hub or in the store it's further up. So the POH 4, which is the 2 metre one, is only 11,200, so it puts it on the cheaper end. And then we've got the 1.5 metre one, which is 8,400. There, at the moment, the maps don't have that many small fields that I feel these would work well on at the moment. That said, as new modded maps come out and we find a lot more European maps and the English maps and Irish and that kind of stuff, with a lot more smaller fields, these will fit in very, very well, especially when you're starting out. And like I say, the options available, you can have universal mould boards, which are the ones that are solid, and if we swing around a little bit, and then if we scroll across one, we can have slatted mould boards like so, which are the two we've had a look at already. Again, very nice, neat, tidy mods, couple of new ploughs to have in game, which brings me on to the next of our mods. This is the Holmer Terra Dos T430. In game, we've got the T440. This was one that came out on FS17 as a mod, I think by the same person as well, actually. This is by Krone 70. This will take 18 slots to buy. Again, incredibly detailed, very, very tidy. The Holmer Terra Dos T440 has got the double wheels at the back and is slightly longer, so this is the two-wheeled version. It kind of fits into the same category as the Roper ones, and we'll have a look at those in store in a minute. But very, very nice indeed. I think the conversions over, like I've said before with a lot of these mods, yes, this was an FS17, yes, it was a mod, and I was kind of shying away from doing them, but it's good to have a look at them because they do seem crisper and neater and tidier, and you can see more detail, and I like that about the mods that are coming over. Very, very cool. So if we have a look in store, let's go to Beat Technology right here. So we have got the Terra Dos T440, which is 495,000, and then we've got the equivalent in the Ropers. We've got the Tiger 6XL, which is 499. So those are the two equivalents. They've got 3 axles, 2 at the back. Now the new one is the Holmer Terra Dos T430, which has got the twin axle. And that the equivalent you've got here for that is the Roper Panther 2. That's the equivalent. Both 30,000 litre tanks. But here's my only concern with this. As far as slots go, it's not bad. It's only 18 slots, and the actual Roper that comes in game is 38, so it's less slots straight off the bat. But what you can also see, the speed's the same, 24 miles per hour. This has got slightly less horsepower, 626, and the Roper has got 700. But realistically, you're not going to notice that too much in game anyway. The difference is in price, and that's what I'm a bit surprised about, I have to say. The Panther 2 is 375,000. The Terra Dos T430 is 435. That's 60,000 pounds, euros or dollars more. Now for me, when the mods come out, I kind of look at all different options, and I suppose everyone does the same thing. I like the concept of second-hand machinery. I know in FS17 we had a few tractors and stuff come out, and a few bits of machinery where you could have a brand new one and a kind of older version of it. To me, if you're going to bring out one, I would have thought it would have been cheaper or exactly the same price, because I think unless you're a Holmer nut and you're absolutely obsessed with having Holmers, you're probably still going to go for the Panther 2. If it had a larger capacity, I probably would go for it. Don't get me wrong, the mod's brilliant. It's very, very neat, very, very tidy, very, very detailed. It's a great mod, and it complements the T440 perfectly. The other thing that's a bit weird that I found, if we go into the actual accessories, Beat Technology, it does say on the Farming Simulator website for this, and it might be because it's been ported over, that it's compatible with the Holmer HR6, HR9 and HR12. Well, at the moment we don't have the HR6 or the HR9 in game, so I don't know whether that's coming as a subsequent kind of package that comes with it, because we've only got the Holmer HR12 at the moment. So it does actually hook up to the HR12. We'll start it up. Nice sounds, smooth animations. Like I say, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the mod at all, but I have to play devil's advocate when I'm doing the sort of mod reviews, looking at them, because people will look and they'll ask the question, you know, why would I get that if it's more expensive, or what's better, what stands out. sometimes it's slot count, sometimes it's price, sometimes it's horsepower. It depends what it is that's different. Now what I'm going to do is put on the help window. At the moment we've got turn steering selected, and this is the same for the beet harvesters we've had already. If I do that and then L3, we can change our steering mode from turn steering to crab steering left, crab steering right, and then all-wheel steering. I generally put mine on turn steering because as well as getting the all-wheel steer, you get the front cab turns as well, so you can get much tighter turning circles. I just find I prefer that. But it does hook up to the HR12, so you can have the smaller harvester with a bigger header, which means you're going to clear a lot of ground much quicker. Just to prove the point, it does hook up. There you go, pipe out. Which is also adjustable. We can raise and lower the pipe, and the top we can adjust as well. Like I say, very nice mod. Very detailed, lots going on. Whether you decide to have or not, well, it may come down to the fact that you prefer Holmers to ropers, and you know, whatever it might be. My job is just to show you what's here, what it does, what it looks like, what it sounds like. The decision as to whether you want one or not comes down to you, but I have to try and make sure I kind of explain everything is probably the best way of putting it. Now, the last of our mods, and one that I can't actually show you, which seems a bit peculiar, is the Disable Vehicle Camera Collision mod. And I've talked about it a little bit on my Let's Plays, and it came out on FS17. What you have is a situation where, before the mods came out, especially when you've got tractors with trailers and things like that, your camera rotates around the tractor. Now, without the mod on, when you've got a trailer on the back, sometimes when you came into a position like this over the back of a trailer, the camera would suddenly jerk into a very weird position, or it would zoom straight in on the tractor. It would kind of flick up and back and up and back, and it was a bit kind of ungainly, and especially when you're doing videos, it doesn't look fantastic. The Disable Vehicle Camera Collision mod means that when you install it and you put it on, when you pan around with your camera, you can go right through objects, and you're not going to get that sudden snap of the camera. It doesn't suddenly flick right into the tractor. So it just makes it a little bit easier when you're moving things around. You don't get that sudden jerkiness of it flicking around all over the place. So that's the 5th mod. Like I say, I can't actually show you it. It's not tangible as such, but I can show you kind of what it does now. And that's it. That's the mods. Don't worry, turn that on. That's the mods for today, Friday the 11th of January. We're getting a nice selection of things coming out. Not every day, but most days, when there are a lot still in testing. According to the Giants forum page, in testing at the moment, a couple of these weren't on that list actually, but in testing it does say there's a toolbox. And what was the other thing I was quite excited about? Can't remember, mine's gone blank, but one is definitely a toolbox that's in testing at the moment. And they get through them as quickly as they can, and they come out as soon as they are ready. So we are getting a nice selection available. What you choose to do with them, use them, don't use them, that's entirely up to you. So I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.